A chip shortage continues to plague the car industry, causing the price of used cars to increase and resulting in less new cars on the market. Good afternoon, I'm Hannah Hazer.
Grace Bellinghausen. Coming up, we look at how organizations in Omaha continue to raise money during the COVID-19 pandemic. The Omaha News starts now.
From the studios of UNO Television, this is the Omaha News, presented by UNO School of Communication.
If you're in the market for a new car this year, get ready to pay more than you normally would because dealerships say they only have a fraction of vehicles for sale, both new and used. The global chip shortage is getting worse, which forces automakers to temporarily close their factories. It is expected to cost the auto industry $210 billion in revenue this year. One of the auto engineers at Chevrolet H&H, Matt Smock, says how much revenue this shortage has cost them.
We started feeling the effect of it earlier this year, probably February-ish, and it just has escalated throughout the year. It's gotten a lot worse. You drive through our lot right now, we have 4 brand new cars on the lot, and before this all started, we had 350 new cars on the lot.
The parking lot at H&H Chevrolet is currently full of mostly used cars. Prices are continuously rising within the used car industry, and the effects can be felt throughout dealerships and central offices. The accounting specialist at H&H Automotive, Carolee Cusack, says how much change she has witnessed since the start of her job.
Definitely is pretty crazy how much that number has changed since pre-COVID times. Fortunately, it won't last forever. We just need to be a little more proactive, whether that's as a customer or a dealership, when buying vehicles.
In the first quarter of the year, the average new car price was $37,200. It rose up to 8.4% from the same period last year. A recent article from the New York Times says that Toyota had a slight increase for the quarter, but its sales in September dropped tremendously after it was forced to tear down their global production. Along with the microchip shortage, experts say tires and other auto parts are in short supply. Sales have dropped dramatically as a result. Ford suffered a 27% drop in sales from July through September. Over the 3-month period, Ford sold 400,000 trucks and cars compared to 500,000 a year ago. The company isn't alone. General Motors reported on Friday that its sales dropped 33%. However, Ford says despite the sales drop, the supply of parts and inventory was improving. Last year, Omaha voters approved a $200 million transportation bond issue to improve the city's roads. According to project data on Omaha Public Works website, the bond issue enabled dozens of road repair projects all over the city to begin. Despite a labor shortage and rising construction costs, more than half of the 59 jobs have already been completed.
This was a huge shot in the arm, so let me start by saying that it was much needed and immediately put to good use.
Fitzer says that for years the gas tax, which originally funded massive infrastructure projects in the 50s, is now unable to cover the cost of road construction as vehicles become more fuel efficient. The 5-year transportation bond issue will be on the ballot again when it expires. Fitzer says he hopes Omahans continue to see the value and vote in favor of it.
The U.S. Department of Education announces changes today to a federal student loan forgiveness program that can bring relief to more than 550,000 people working in government and the nonprofit sector. This includes 22,000 borrowers who would now be automatically eligible for student loan forgiveness without having to take additional steps. The Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program forgives remaining federal student loan debt to qualifying public sector works after making monthly payments for 10 years. The program has been criticized in the past for being difficult to navigate, while borrowers receive little help from their loan servicers. The Department of Education says it will restore the promise of the program through a series of actions implemented over the next few months. Omaha's Precious McKesson has officially been sworn into the Biden administration. McKesson announced on Facebook that she has accepted a position in the U.S. Department of Education as a special assistant in the Office of Communications and Outreach. In her post, she says she's grateful for her friends, family, and the Omaha community. Although Washington, D.C. is her new residence, McKesson says Omaha will always be home. McKesson was the first woman and African American to cast an electoral vote for a Democrat in Nebraska.
Stage doors are reopening at the Orpheum Theater after they had to close due to COVID-19 precautions. The Orpheum Theater first closed their doors on March 14, 2020, canceling multiple performances. President of Omaha Performing Arts, Joan Squires, says for many members of the staff and audience, it is hard to process the idea of closing the doors for any period of time.
You know, I think when we first closed, we couldn't believe that's what was happening, and we thought maybe this would be short term.
The Orpheum remained closed for 18 months before reopening on September 28th. The season includes popular musicals such as Dear Evan Hansen, Wicked, and Anastasia. With the excitement of live performances making a return, COVID-19 precautions will be in effect in order to keep everyone safe and healthy. Coming up, Omaha joins the nation by leading a demonstration near the old Civic Center at 18th and Barnum, protesting the Texas heartbeat law on 18th that restricts abortion access. Next, we take a closer look at how local organizations have adjusted to COVID-19 and how they've continued to raise money during a pandemic. We'll be right back.
There's a unique educational experience right here in Omaha. With access to top-rated programs, in-demand degrees, and a worldwide community of graduates, UNO prepares students for life, wherever it may lead. From Omaha to Italy to Uganda to Japan, Mavericks are working in communities around the globe. So where will a degree from UNO take you? UNO, access to exceptional, access to the world. Learn more at unomaha.edu.
This is the Omaha News.
President Biden's administration is set to boost COVID-19 testing in the country by announcing an investment on at-home rapid tests, according to CNN. On Wednesday, a White House official said the U.S. will announce a $1 billion investment, which goes towards the purchasing of rapid at-home tests. In September, the president announced a $2 billion investment in rapid testing for community health centers, food banks, and schools. With in-person events canceled by COVID for almost 2 years, how has fundraising stayed afloat? Reporter Jared Sint joins us from Studio A.
Omaha's mask mandate expired in May, which paved the way for in-person events throughout the city. For two nonprofits, it couldn't have come sooner. The Cornhusker Cosmopolitan hosted their first in-person event of the year, and it showed success. This is one of the few events they've been allowed to have during COVID times, and one of the few ways they can raise money.
COVID's basically shut us down, but right now the only thing that we're able to get money from is TAG, the Together a Greater Good. So really, COVID has really kind of hurt us.
The Cornhusker Cosmopolitan Club president, Todd Wilson, had to investigate new ways to acquire funds for their cause. They still can't have any events with the children they fundraise for. COVID forced the Cornhusker Cosmopolitan, along with other charities, to get creative and tap into government funding, as well as look for more community support. Chief Executive Officer of the McDonald House charity, Lindsay Corton, says COVID has done more to their organization than just hurting their income.
So much more than just a dollar amount of that gap that needs to be filled and things like that, because we relied so heavily. We have 2,600 volunteers in a non-COVID world who help us do the majority of the heavy lifting in a lot of different ways.
The House released a statement saying that COVID has caused them to shut down many in-person events, and they were unable to accept new families. They could only accept half the families they were expecting for 2020. Corton says the community was the main reason the House was able to stay afloat.
Absolutely. The community stepped up and was able to support us and is continuing to support us now.
Corton also says that COVID has seemingly strengthened the bond between the community and these programs. The Ronald McDonald House received a check for a little more than $27,000 on August 1st as the community continues to show its support. Grace, back to you.
Thanks, Jared. Over 20 nonprofits testified yesterday in front of Nebraska lawmakers, making a case for a big piece of the American Rescue Plan Act. CEO of the Nonprofit Association of the Midlands, Ann Hendry, says she wants nonprofit funds to be treated with the same parity as other businesses. CEO of Together Inc., Mike Hornacek, says normal has not yet returned to those who have suffered greatly from the pandemic. In the year prior to the pandemic, Together Inc. Food Pantry saw around 42,000 visitors. The number peaked at 160,000 last year and is expected to be between 130,000 and 140,000 this year. The hope is that billions of federal relief funds will help speed up the recovery. An Omaha police detective avoided trial after striking a plea deal Wednesday. Caprice Spears pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor of disturbing the peace. He was originally charged with felony terroristic threats. Sarpy County prosecutors say that in April, Spears handcuffed a pair of teens who banged on his doors. He was off duty but still had his badge and carried a gun. Spears claims he was defending his family. The judge sentenced him to 9 months of probation. He will have to pay a fine of $50 and a restitution of over $1,600 for a damaged rearview mirror of one of the teens' cars and a small medical bill. Spears will also have to attend 25 counseling sessions. Omaha joined hundreds of other cities last Saturday in rallying for reproductive rights. The event is a direct response to the heartbeat law in Texas, which critics say limits access to abortion. Women, men, and children gathered at the Civic Center on 18th and Farnham to listen to speakers and medical professionals like Dr. Deborah Turner and show their support for abortion to be accessible as a human right.
In our democracy, others do not have the right to infringe on your right to choose.
They urged Nebraskans to reject legislation and avoid introducing legislation that is void of medical expertise and uses rhetoric that doesn't use medical research and input.
I think it's important to show that we won't stop and that we have a voice and we're standing up for the women in Texas and that we will not be quiet. We will not let this keep going to different states. We will stop this right in Texas.
The heartbeat law bans abortion once cardiac activity is detected. This is 85 to 90% earlier than most abortions are carried out. The event was organized by 7 different local organizations, including the Women's March. Andy Talbot, lead organizer of the Women's March, says there's a possibility Nebraska could see similar legislation.
I mean, it's no secret that we have lawmakers here in Nebraska eyeing what's happening in Texas and across the country and saying we think this is good for Nebraskans. And the fact is, that's just not true.
Women organizations stress that making abortions illegal will likely not end abortions, but create an illegal market for unsafe abortions, a double-ended sword for policymakers. The heartbeat law is being called the most pervasive anti-abortion law since the landmark 1973 case of Roe v. Wade.
The Women's Center for Advancement annual fundraiser, which funds its free services, comes on in heels of a spike in domestic abuse calls due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The service group has answered more than 8,200 hotline calls in 2021. According to the Women's Center for Advancement, that's an increase in nearly 40% of phone calls compared to this time last year. President and CEO Jeanette Taylor says the pandemic created a difficult and dangerous environment for victims of domestic violence and children. Taylor says the service group has increased spending on solutions in 2019 and it has doubled in 2020. Taylor says she anticipates more spending in 2021. Coming up, we follow 2 local high school referees and see how it's more than just another part-time job. Next, the UNO men's basketball team prepares for the upcoming season. We take a look at the newly formed roster and how they plan on building off of last year. The Omaha News will be back right after this.
Radio isn't what your grandparents told you. It's about discovering facts from the other side of the story. But MavRadio.fm produces talent, people who can take someone's story and bring it to life.
Create your next adventure and travel the world at Omaha's award-winning Henry Dorley Zoo. Explore the historic Blackstone district in Omaha, Nebraska. With over a dozen restaurants, bars, and social settings, you can experience everything the iconic district has to offer. Eat, drink, socialize, and enjoy the day or night here in Blackstone.
For me, it's about understanding the process of communication and what we learn through that process.
So something that you'll find within the School of Communication graduate program is that there is such a rich field of expertise.
I can think of no other discipline where we spend so much time focusing on not just one side of the conversation, but all sides of the conversation.
Not only do you get to work closely with other graduate students that come from all different walks of life, but you get to learn from graduate faculty that take those perspectives and help you grow yourself in a way that teaches you to be an academic, but also lets you be you in a really unique way.
I chose UNO very specifically, not just because I live here, I'm proud to represent here, but because I thought their program offered strengths that I didn't see in other programs.
This is the Omaha News.
The Maverick men's basketball team is officially in practice mode as they aim to complete their first winning season since 2018. Reporter Anna Bellinghausen is live. Anna, are they looking to rebound?
Definitely, Hannah. I was attending practices last week and you could just feel the excitement within Sap Fieldhouse. Junior guard Kyle Ludke told me afterwards that he knows what it feels like to win, and they're just ready to get back to that. Omaha men's basketball has some big shoes to fill after 2 of their top 3 leading scorers graduated from UNO. The team finished 8th in the Summit League standings last season and missed the trip to the conference tournament. Head coach Darren Hansen says this new group of faces is refreshing for the program.
It's a really good nucleus right now of returners. It's a good nucleus of young guys. Experience and still trying to learn our systems.
Omaha men's basketball looks to add their first Summit League title to these trophy cases. But first, junior Kyle Ludke says they need to work on team chemistry.
We just want to come together, play hard every game, and
just be ready to go to try and get back to the tournament.
Omaha adds 3 transfers to the rotation this season, including Wichita State's Isaiah Porbear-Chandler, who brings along March Madness experience.
So we're excited to have Isaiah, in the mix. He brings us a different dimension with his size and his skill.
The 6'7" freshman Frankie Fiddler also joins the program after a Super State career at Bellevue West.
He can shoot it, score from all 3 levels, so he's really going to help us put some points on the board.
The current Maverick squad boasts 10 returners, and after recording a 5-20 season, players like Ludke know there's something to prove.
This year, we just want to show that last year was a fluke.
With mandatory practices just starting last week, this Omaha team begins a path to not only the Summer League tournament, but also a chance for a bid to the NCAA's Big Dance. And the Mavericks open up November 9th at Ralston Arena as they face the Hastings Broncos for an in-state matchup. Hannah, back to you.
Thanks, Anna. The Major League Baseball postseason got underway Tuesday night. The Boston Red Sox defeated their rival New York Yankees 6-2. The Red Sox now advance to face the defending American League champion, Tampa Bay Rays, in a best-of-5 series. The National League wildcard game starts tonight at 7 o'clock, as the Los Angeles Dodgers host the St. Louis Cardinals.
Jacksonville Jaguars coach Urban Meyer is under fire after footage surfaced of him sitting at a bar while a woman danced close to his lap following Thursday night's loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. New footage emerged Monday of the 57-year-old coach touching the woman's bottom. Meyer admits that he acted stupid and apologized to his team for his actions. Jaguars owner Shad Khan criticized Meyer but ultimately stood by his side. Khan says Meyer's conduct was inexcusable, but believed Meyer's remorse to be sincere. Khan says Meyer must regain the organization's trust moving forward. The high school football season has been active for over a month now. High school referees have an important job, but often go unrecognized for their work. Reporter Liam Fenwick has more on a story about a veteran referee.
On any given fall Friday night, you can find Russell Johnson officiating a high school football game. Johnson has been officiating Nebraska high school football games for 25 years and shows no signs of slowing down. Johnson is the white hat official and the leader of his Omaha-based referee crew. Johnson and his crew officiate high school games in the eastern Nebraskan region, including towns like Palmer, Nebraska. Johnson says working with his crew is worth the long drives.
Got 4 guys that I really do care for a lot. They mean a lot to me, and it's a special bond we have.
According to the Eastern Nebraska Officials Association, football referees can only work 1 to 3 games a week. Johnson says he keeps officiating because he loves the game.
The love to see other officials that I've taught, to see them go on to be good officials, to go on to see them be college officials. That's my love.
Russell Johnson has been officiating high school football games for over 20 years. Even after all that time, he still enjoys mentoring young and experienced referees.
First-year referee Joe Cassidy says Johnson has helped him grow as an official.
President of PSOA, Premier Sports Officiating Association, recommended me try out for the football. I had availability on Friday nights. He threw me on Russell Johnson's crew 7, just to learn to see and develop as a football official.
Johnson plans to continue officiating high school football games for at least 5 more years. For the Omaha News, I'm Liam Fenwick.
Russell Johnson and his crew will continue to officiate high school football games for the rest of the regular season. If given the opportunity, the crew says they would love to officiate a playoff game. Next, barriers are being broken on the football field at Westside High School. See how 2 high school girls are making an impact on and off the field. The Omaha News will be right back.
The University of Nebraska at Omaha is a place for tomorrow's leaders. A place where individuals converge on a path to success, getting the attention and direction they need as they begin their career. It's where students take pride in serving Omaha, a city we've invested in for more than 100 years. UNO is a place where greatness begins. The University of Nebraska at Omaha.
I never thought I'd be standing in the clouds looking down on the ancient ruins of the Incan Empire. I never thought I'd live among the street artists in Valparaiso. I never thought I'd make friends that would last a lifetime. Adventure's out there, and as Mavericks, it's up to us to find it. Stop thinking, start doing. Visit educationabroad.unomaha.edu.
For years, the Old Market has been a popular attraction. With its vintage atmosphere and rich history, it's a great way to spend an evening. It has niche restaurants where you can grab dinner, and unique stores you can shop at, making it an exciting place to explore. So come on down and check out the Old Market, located between 10th and 13th Streets and Farnham and Jackson Streets.
In 2017, it was estimated that 25,000 young girls were involved in football at the youth level. But that number rapidly declines as they approach the high school level. Of the 5.5 million reported Americans who are playing football, only 10.9% of them are girls. Reporter Avery Howard examines how two girls at Westside High School are trying to change that number.
When most people hear about girls playing football, they think of punters and kickers. Freshman Piper Zadiska is breaking more barriers than just being a girl on the football team. She plays middle linebacker.
I've been in 8th grade. I was a lineman, offense and defense. And then this year I'm starting at middle linebacker and fullback.
And she'll be the first one to tell you how much work it takes.
I just knew that I would have to work twice as hard as all the guys would just to be able to compete on the same level as them. And I was willing to put in the work and make sacrifices to play the game.
Zadiska isn't the only girl in the Westside football program. She's joined by junior varsity wide receiver Aaron Marty. And although they're on different teams, they say the reception they've received from their teammates has never wavered.
Since day one, the guys have always been super awesome and supportive. I'm just another one of the guys.
The Westside program always has like a brotherhood type of bond, and they always push to make it feel like when you're on the team, it's like a family.
These two plan on creating a sisterhood here on the JV varsity squad next year, and they both don't plan on their football careers ending anytime soon.
When Piper comes up to JV varsity, it'll be the first time I've been playing with a girl.
And although these two are just doing what they love, they've done just that, paved their own legacy. For the Omaha News, I'm Avery Howard.
You can catch both of these girls in action this week. The JV squad travels to Lincoln Monday to take on Lincoln High at 6 o'clock, and the freshman team will face Millard West at home on Thursday at 4:30. That's it for today. Join us again next week for more news and entertainment in the Heartland.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UNO, the Omaha News, or find our website for even more news and stories at unomaha.com.
From all of us here at UNO Television, thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Lyle, calm down.
Pretend to call the game, and it's like it was a lifelong dream of mine, and now that I'm starting to fulfill that dream, it's been awesome.
With the UNO School of Communication, your dream begins today.
An unbelievable experience. I'm extremely grateful that I get to do it.
And it is so exciting to see what they can do and what they want to do.
What can you say about your Maverick team?
The deadline is now.